अभी मैं जिसको दावत दे रहा हूँ वो बेटा अभी रिसेंटली जो है वो उनको अल्लाह ताला ने शरफ बख्शा कि वो ज़ियारतों से होके आया है। तो हम ये चाहते हैं कि वो थोड़ा आए और आके हमारे साथ अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करें। मैं गुजारिश करता हूँ मेहदी को कि वो यहाँ आए और अपने एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में बताएं। सलावत।
बनाए खुशनूरी इमाम ज़माना बुलंदतर सलवात।
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Fairly recently, about late last year, I was privileged to be able to go to the Ziyarat in both Iraq and Iran with my family. I was asked to come and speak to everyone here about my experiences there. Imam Jafar Sadiq said, "One who visits us when we have passed away is like one who visited us when we were alive." Now, I had no idea that quote existed until I went to Ziyarat and I heard it there, and it really rung true to me when I was there. And hopefully this speech can help you understand why Ziyarat is so special to everyone and why I encourage everyone to go on Ziyarat. Firstly, in Iraq, we went to Karbala, and initially the first sight you have in Karbala of a shrine is the very top of Hazrat Abbas's shrine. And at first you're just filled with a feeling of awe, and it's just amazing being there. And then you're kind of filled with an overwhelming feeling of sadness because you realize you're in Karbala. You think of what happened there. Now, throughout the week that I spent in Karbala, throughout our entire time in Iraq, we were with a Canadian group called the Al-Amdar group, led by Dr. Akbar Mehdi, who many of you might remember. And he told me on the first day in Karbala that you will feel something at every place you go. And I never really understood what this meant, because at first all I felt was kind of sadness being in Karbala. And we were there for about a week, and every day I would go to the shrines of Hazrat Abbas and Imam Hussein. I'd do ziyarat, I'd pray there, and then I'd come back to the hotel where I'd probably complain about the Wi-Fi. But I never really spent time there until the last night. And one thing that Dr. Mehdi said to me while we were in Karbala is, it's all like fine and well to just go there, do ziyarat and pray, but you don't have to go right to the zari, touch the zari, and then do du'as. You can just, because there was heaps of people there, so it was extremely difficult to touch the zari in the first place. But he said it's great to just sit there and talk to the imams. And I never really understood that until the last night, because the whole time I was in Karbala, I didn't really get that feeling that he described. And until the very last night, after a majlis that we just had in the shrine of Imam Hussein, and everyone was going back to the hotel except a few people who were staying at the shrines. So I went back to the hotel, and we were leaving the next morning, early morning, so I was going to get some sleep. But for some reason, I just felt compelled to go back to the shrines. So I did, and this was like at 1 a.m. or something. And I don't know why I wanted to go back, I just did. I felt like I had to go back. And I just went to the shrine of Hazrat Abbas and Imam Hussein. I went to both of their shrines and just sat there and talked to them. And it was weird to think that you're so close to these amazing people, that you've heard so much about, and you're talking directly to them. It's a feeling that you can't describe. Like I encourage everyone to go to Ziyarat and try it, because I can't even begin to describe what that's like. After Karbala, we went to Najaf, which was my favorite place, because in Najaf we went to the shrine of Imam Ali, and Najaf, it's a completely different place to Karbala. And in Karbala, you're happy that you're with the Imam, you're happy that you're with Hazrat Abbas, but you've always got the feeling of sadness because you're in Karbala. In Najaf, it's just peace. You just feel like it's a place where you just want to stay, and you just feel like it's so tranquil there. Like, I got that feeling that Dr. Mathani described the second we went to the shrine of Imam Ali. Like, I walked in there and I was just staring at this amazing place and just taking in the sight. And he came up to me and he said, "Well, what do you think of this?" And I was just like, I don't know what to say. This place, like the shrine of Imam Ali, everything about it was just amazing to me, and I just wanted to be there for as long as I could. We were in Najaf for 3 days, I think, 3 or 4 days, and I made sure that every single day I'd go to the shrine. And sometimes I wouldn't even do ziyarat, I wouldn't even pray. I'd just sit there in front of the Zari of Imam Ali and just talk to him. You just have a conversation with the Imam, and it's just amazing. Like, it's just this amazing feeling of peace and belonging that I haven't gotten from anywhere else, both either before or after Ziyarat. It's just, you just feel like it's the place you want to be, and you just don't want to leave. You just want to keep talking to the Imams. Also in Najaf, we went to Kufa from Najaf. We just went there for 1 day, and I was privileged to go to the house of Imam Ali and see what his house was like, and see how the Imams lived. And it's humbling to see how they live. The sizes of their rooms is like, it's like one of their rooms is the size of like a queen bed. It's insane to think about that we complain that our rooms can only fit a computer desk and a bed, and we want more space. And we went there and we saw that Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein were sharing a room the size of like one bed. And it's just, if these amazing people can live in a place that small, why can't we? We also, in Najaf, had the honor of meeting with Ayatollah Sistani, and that was, again, extremely humbling, because he lives in a very humble home as well. He's heavily guarded because there have been numerous threats on his life, but we did get to meet him and shake his hand and say salams to him. And he just seems like an amazing person. Like, I've always heard that greatly religious people have this like nur on their face, but I've never really come across it until I met him. And he just looks like he could answer any question you throw at him, and that's awesome. And he offered his salams and prayers to everyone in the community here. But yeah, Najaf was definitely my favorite place that we went to, just because it's just this feeling of pure peace and easiness while you're there. And I remember everything in Iraq was really heavily guarded. There was always like army men with guns and stuff, and you'd see them and they're holding like their guns in one hand, And then in the other hand, they'd have a tajli, and they're always doing zikr, always. And it was a really cool sight to see. And after Najaf, we went to Qazmain to see the shrine of the 7th and 9th Imams. However, we were only there for 1 day, and just spent a night there, talked to them again, and it's just, you just talk to them. You just talk about anything you want. Whatever comes to your mind, you just say it, and you're sitting in front of an Imam. You're sitting in front of like some of the greatest people who ever lived, and you can just freely speak to them. It's just an amazing feeling. After Iraq, my family and I split from the group because everyone in the group went their separate ways. And my family and I, we went to Iran for 1 week to do Ziyarat there. And first we went to Qum, where we visited the shrine of Bibi Masuma. And again, it's a feeling that can't be described by words. But the first thing you notice when you go to Iran is just how grand and amazing everything is in Iran compared to the shrines in Iraq. Like, the shrines in Iraq are amazing by themselves. Like, the first time I went to Imam Ali's shrine, I just stood there for like 5 minutes just staring at the domes and just how amazing everything was. But Bibi Masuma's shrine in Qum was just grand and massive. Like it was just amazing. There was like lights everywhere at night, and it just looked beautiful. After Qum, we went to Mashhad to see the shrine of Imam Raza, and Imam Raza's shrine was even bigger than Bibi Masuma's, and it was, again, a feeling that can't be described. But there was so many people in the shrine that most of the time, even if you wanted to touch the zari of Imam Raza and do the ziyarat, a lot of times you couldn't. So that was the time where I just sit back and I wouldn't mind it. People were trying to like push each other out of the way just to touch the zari. But it's like, you can just sit there and talk to your imams that you love, and it's just an amazing feeling. Finally, I'd like to thank both my parents for giving me the privilege of going to Ziyarat, and I'd like to thank my mother and father for instilling the love of the imams in me. And I encourage everyone to go to Ziyarat, and it's just an amazing feeling. I'd like to thank Allah for giving me the privilege of going to Ziyarat, and hopefully, I pray that inshallah, I can go back there again, because it's a feeling that I've never had before, and I think that the only place I can get that feeling is by going to Ziyarat. And I pray that all of you can go to Ziyarat one day as well and have that feeling.
माशाअल्लाह माशाअल्लाह, बड़ा ही रूह परवर इन्होंने मंजर पेश किया। और मेरी अल्लाह ताला से दुआ है कि 5 दिन बाद के सदक़े में हम मोमिनीन को अल्लाह ताला बार बार ये मौका दे कि हम ज़ियारत को जा सकें। अब हम नाशीद, नात, मनकबत, पोइट्री का सिलसिला शुरू करते हैं। और सबसे